On 14 March 2006, we had bought our graduation gowns. And were looking forward to attend the commencement ceremony, which was scheduled to be on 16 May 2006. However, 2 days later, another unpleasant and terrifying incident had happened to us again, which had caused the incompletion of our bachelor degree. On 16 March 2006, at around 7:20 a.m., my siblings had informed me that he was going out to attend for his music class and left Wichita apartment. At around 7:32 a.m., my siblings had reached Dunson Fine Arts Center and realized that he had forgotten to bring along his lecture notes and cassette tapes used for recording the lecture. Therefore, he went back to the dormitory to get his study material. On his way back, my siblings saw my previous suitmate, Shawali Trichavari, and had a short conversation with her, as we had lost touch with her after she had moved out from room 357, and the last time we saw her was on January 2006, where she had come to look for us at my siblings' room to give us some souvenir which she had bought from Thailand. Shawali asked my siblings if the music class was cancelled, and my siblings told her that the class was not cancelled, but it was just that he needed to go back to his dormitory to get his study materials. When my siblings reached the class, he was already 10 minutes late. He saw Shawali and smiled at her as a form of greeting, but her eyes started to turn away, as if she had done something guilty. At around 11 to 12 p.m., while my siblings and I were rushing for our senior design written progress report 2, which was due on that day, Detective Lloyd Hub and the residence life coordinator, Miss Jolanda Taylor, knocked on my sibling's door and asked my sibling if he knew Shawali. My siblings replied that he knew Shawali because she was my previous suitmate and his classmate in his music class. Then Detective Hub told my siblings that they were now going to bring him for some identification, as Shawali's roommate, Supriya Srinivasa Goda, had reported that she was being assaulted by a man on that morning at around 8:45 to 9 a.m. My siblings was outraged for once again being wrongly accused for an outrageous offense. Then Miss Jolanda interrupted by saying if my siblings asked them one more question, they were going to arrest him right on the spot. Therefore, pardon me for asking if it was wrong for my siblings to ask questions on what was going on. My siblings then followed them to room 563 for the identifications, and it was only then we knew Shawali had moved to room 563. At room 563, Detective Hub asked Supriya if my siblings was the assaulter. Supriya told Detective Hub that my siblings had about the same height as the assaulter. My siblings stated to Detective Hub that he was not the only person in the building who had about the same height as the assaulter, and it was illogical to assume he was that assaulter based on his height. When Detective Hub asked Supriya if she could provide any additional information about the assaulter, she was unable to give any detailed information. Furthermore, when Assistant Director Miss Deborah Chandler asked Superior to identify if my sibling was the assaulter based on his voice, she was once again unable to provide any confirmation. Then Miss Chandler instructed Detective Hub and Miss Jolanda to bring my siblings to the information desk for CA Nguyen to confirm my siblings was the assaulter, as based on Miss Jolanda's statement. At the information desk, after Miss Jolanda spoke with CA Nguyen and Detective Hub, Detective Hub told my siblings that he was not guilty and was free to go. At 5:35 p.m., my siblings and I attend the senior design project class as usual. At around 6:50 p.m., I saw a campus police officer and Miss Chandler waiting outside the classroom where we had our class. Once we came out from the classroom, both of them approached my siblings and told him that they were going to restrain him at the Fairmount Tower. My sibling was stunned and tried to explain to Miss Chandler that Detective Hub had confirmed he was not guilty and was free to go. But Miss Chandler refused to listen to his explanations and warned my siblings that if he did not follow her order, they were going to handcuff him right on the spot. My siblings kneeled down and begged Miss Chandler to allow him to use her office line to make a phone call back to Singapore to inform our parents about the incident, as both my siblings and I did not have any international phone card or mobile phone with us. However, Miss Chandler strongly refused and threatened my siblings that if he failed to follow them to Wichita apartment to retrieve his item and move to Fairmount Tower immediately, he would not only be handcuffed right on the spot, but will also be charged with more sanctions. Then the campus police officer warned my siblings that he would be jailed if he was found to trespass into Wichita apartment or near its premises, as well as having any contact with Superior or Shawari. In addition, Ms. Chandler had mentioned to us that the National Institute for Aviation Research, NIAR building, was the furthest location where my siblings was allowed to drop me off. When questioned about the senior design project and HVAC design project, which my sibling and I were working on at that time in the same project teams, Ms. Chandler just replied that it was none of our business and sarcastically mentioned that if we fail to complete our projects, just repeat the modules and ask our parents to send more money for us to complete our studies. Furthermore, my sibling asked Ms. Chandler if he was allowed to move back to Wichita apartment after attending the judicial hearing on the 21st March 2006. Ms. Chandler simply replied him that it would have to depend on her mood. Therefore, they proved that Ms. Chandler had deliberately abused her authority and made things difficult for us, and her actions was considered as barbaric and unreasonable. When my siblings reached Fairmount Tower, he realized that there was no cooking and telecommunication facility in the room and asked Ms. Chandler on how he should contact me to check if I had reached my room safely. Ms. Chandler casually told him that he was allowed to use the common phone in the cafeteria to contact me, and if no one picked up the call, it meant his sister was dead. My siblings ignored Ms. Chandler and contacted me using the common phone. At around 8 to 9 p.m., we met at the NIAR building where our project lecturer, Dr. Kurt Sochinsky, had his class. I went into the classroom and apologized to Dr. Sochinsky lecturer for interrupting the examinations, as I need to have a word with Dr. Sochinsky urgently. I told Dr. Sochinsky that there was a terrible incident happened to my siblings, and we need to borrow his international phone card to call back to Singapore. Despite Dr. Sochinsky was having his examination at that time, he told me that he would provide his help and asked me to wait for him until 10:30 when his examination was over. At 10:30, Dr. Sochinsky approached us and we went to his office where we used his international phone card and office phone to call back home. On 17 March 2006, we looked for Dr. Sochinsky to submit the appendix of our written reports. My siblings asked Dr. Sochinsky if he knew a lady called Mrs. Tina Mason, as we need to locate her for help. Dr. Sochinsky replied that he knew Mrs. Mason and tried his very best to locate her. Thankfully, through the help from Dr. Sochinsky, we finally managed to contact Mrs. Mason. Then I went to the Housing and Residence Life office to look for Miss Chandler and beg her for the access card to my siblings' room so that I could obtain some cold weather clothing and cookies for my siblings, as well as our textbook, to continue with our study and projects. Miss Chandler reluctantly agreed to my request and called me to wait for her outside the office of the Housing and Residence Life. Before I left her office, she told me that my siblings and I would only be given 5 minutes to get the clothing and cookie, but not for the textbook, and such exceptions would not be given again. Just then, I made another request to Miss Chandler and told her that I intend to move to Fairmount Tower for the time being to accompany my siblings, as well as voice to her that I felt insecure whenever I have to return to the dormitory after my class finished at night. But Miss Chandler turned down my request and poked a finger on my temple, telling me not to be paranoid, as I should be feeling 100% safe in the campus. When questioned Miss Chandler in regards to the University Safety Escort Service, she laughed off and said that their University Safety Escort Service was only meant for the white and Hispanic students, and not for the yellow-skinned Asian students. Therefore, pardon me for asking on what I did that made me deserve to be treated in such a way in the United States. While waiting for Miss Chandler outside the office of the Housing and Residence Life, I was pulled to a corner by Detective Hub, where he grabs my neck and threatened me with a gun on my forehead, telling me not to ask so many questions and just withdrew from the university. If not, he guaranteed that he would put that damn bullet into my head, and I was freaked out. On 21st March 2006, my siblings attended the judicial hearing where Mrs. Mason acted as his advisor. During the hearing, Miss Chandler read out all the accusations and told my siblings to narrate to her on what had happened on 16 March 2006. My siblings told Miss Chandler that he was having his music class at that time when the incident happened in Wichita apartment, and showed her the time evidence written by his music lecturer, Dr. Russell Widener. Then Miss Chandler started to twist the truth and claimed that there was a second incident report filed by Supriya, which indicate a different timing when the incident happened. My siblings point out some contradictions with their statement. But was pushed aside by Miss Chandler, who began to pinpoint my siblings by diverting irrelevant things into the case. My siblings told Miss Chandler that we want to move out from Wichita apartment so that we could continue with our study peacefully. Miss Chandler told my siblings that we have to withdraw from the university in order for us to move out from the dormitory, which were exactly the same as what Detective Harp had warned me on 17 March 2006. After constant living under the fear of threatened force, we eventually withdrew from the university with another 2 more W's indicated in our transcript. Then Mrs. Mason, along with Detective Harp, accompanied us back to the Wichita apartment to pack our luggage, while Detective Harp would check through our luggage and treasures before we moved out from the dormitory. And we temporarily stayed at the house of Mrs. Mason until 28 March 2006, when we returned back to Singapore. Therefore, I would like to highlight to everyone, if it was logical for Supriya to say that she was unable to give any detailed information about the assaulter, who was just a few centimeters away from her when the battery incidents happened. By right, at such a close distance, the victim should easily recognize the assaulter at a glance. But why she is so unsure, as stated in her statement? Moreover, in Supriya's statement, she had claimed that there was a violent tussle between her and the assaulter before she made her escape, as the assaulter has forcefully tried to hold her down and she was fighting hard to protect herself from the black instrument that the assaulter was holding during the incident. Hence, pardon me for asking, in such kind of violent tussle, fingernail scrapings and DNA from skin-to-skin contact will definitely be left behind by the assaulter, as according to local principle, every contact leaves us a trace, and this distinct biological and physical evidence will remain workable for up to 2 days. Why didn't the campus police, that is Detective Harp, who had worked in the law enforcement field for more than 30 years, collect this distinct biological and physical evidence from the crime scenes and from the victim in the first place, for the forensic expertise to carry out detection tests, confirmatory tests, and forensic DNA testing, which are the essential tools for solving a case of batteries, in order to determine the identity of the assaulter and bring the assaulter to justice. Therefore, am I right to say that Detective Harp and the housing staff were in fact creating a case out of no case? Or should I say that they were preventing the cause of justice and conveniently made my siblings as the scapegoat to create a case? Therefore, I insist there was more to meat than the eye. Then in July 2008, I went to another university to continue my study and had successfully completed my bachelor degree with honor. Without experiencing any unpleasant incident happen to us while studying in other university. Hence, am I right to say that it was the conspiracy brought by the Wichita State University staff to prevent us from graduations after they had completely earned the tuition fees and accommodation fees from our parents. Therefore, we appreciate the university to send the staff and the case victim, Supriya and Shawali, to have a closed-door conference with us in Singapore to discuss about the above-mentioned incidents. If not, heavy consequences apply.